A fluttering goody, an inverted pot, and a bee-headed warrior. Could there be a connection? For centuries, Gudi Padwa has symbolized victory and new beginnings. But could it also carry the echoes of a dark and brutal past? Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, the lion-hearted Maratha king, captured, tortured, and executed. But was his beheading mere coincidence on the eve of Gudi Padwa, or a chilling message from Aurangzeb? His body fell, but his spirit never did. His legacy rises just like the Gudi, proud, unshaken, and defiant. History hides secrets. So are you ready to uncover this one? There is a widespread belief that Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj's brutal execution was deliberately timed, that Aurangzeb chose the day before Gudi Padwa to crush the Maratha spirit. Some even speculate that the Gudi, a flag with an inverted copper pot also known as Kalash, could symbolize the severed head of Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj. But is there any truth to this? To answer this, let's separate fact from speculation and figure out first, was Gudi Padwa celebrated before Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj's death? To understand this, we must go back in time to the year 78 CE, that is Common Era, when King Gautamiputra Satakarni changed history forever. He defeated the Scythians ruler Nahapana, and to commemorate this great victory, established the Shalivahana Shaka era, also known as Shaka era. Since then, the first day of Chaitra month has been celebrated as Gudi Padwa, marking the beginning of a new year and the arrival of spring. The term Gudi refers to a decorated flag or emblem, while Padwa, derived from Sanskrit Pratipada, signifies the first day of a lunar fortnight. But what about the inverted copper pot, Kalash, atop the Gudi? Well, there is no mention of the Kalash in early inscriptions or texts. The festival was originally a celebration of victory and new beginnings. It is believed that Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj revived the tradition of raising the Gudi as a symbol of Maratha military triumphs. Over time, the Kalash was possibly added as a symbol of victory, similar to how kings hoisted flags after conquests. So, the Gudi existed long before Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj's execution. But could it have evolved to represent his martyrdom later? That brings us to the next question. Did Aurangzeb time Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj's execution to break the Marathas? Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj was captured on 1st February 1689. For over a month, the mighty Maratha warrior endured unimaginable torture at the hands of the Mughals, and then on March 11, 1689, just one day before Gudi Padwa, he was executed in the most brutal manner. But why did Aurangzeb wait more than a month before executing him? Aurangzeb was a master of psychological warfare. He had previously banned Hindu festivals like Holi and Diwali in the Mughal court, showing his deep awareness of their significance. His court historians, spies, and governors would have informed him about Gudi Padwa's importance in Maharashtra. So, was this just a coincidence or a planned attack on Maratha morale? Here is what we know. No direct Mughal records confirm that Aurangzeb deliberately chose the date to coincide with Gudi Padwa. Masir-e-Alamgiri, that is Mughal Chronicle, does not mention any such intention. Aurangzeb's primary motive was to weaken the Maratha resistance, not necessarily to insult the festival. However, there is a room to think otherwise. Mughal rulers often used symbolic executions. Guru Tegh Bahadur, the Sikh Guru, was executed in 1675 to send a message of dominance to the Sikhs. Could Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj's execution before Gudi Padwa have been a similar move? If Aurangzeb's goal was to psychologically crush the Marathas, executing their king just before their new year would be an effective way to send a message. Was this just a cruel coincidence? Or was it a calculated strategy to strike a blow to Maratha pride? The truth remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj's sacrifice became a rallying cry. Instead of breaking the Marathas, his martyrdom fueled their resistance, ultimately leading to the fall of the Mughal Empire in the Deccan. So, should the Bahujans celebrate Gudi Padwa? Some narratives claim that the festival was promoted by Aurangzeb himself using Brahmin priests connected to him, and therefore Bahujans should avoid celebrating it. But let's examine the facts. Gudi Padwa predates Aurangzeb by centuries. It was already celebrated during the Satavahana Empire, that is 78 CE, and later revived by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. It was never a Mughal invention. In fact, Sant Gyaneshwar's Gyaneshwari, as well as the writings of saints like Chokhamela, Janabai, and Eknath Maharaj, all mention the Gudi tradition long before Aurangzeb's time. The inverted kalash on the Gudi does not necessarily represent Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj's severed head. Instead, it most likely evolved as a symbol of victory during the Maratha Empire. So, whether you celebrate Gudi Padwa as a new year, a symbol of Maratha pride, or a tribute to the sacrifices of warriors like Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, the festival remains a powerful part of Maharashtra's cultural identity. So, was it just a coincidence or a calculated act of tyranny? Did Aurangzeb choose to execute Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj on the eve of Gudi Padwa by chance? Or was it a ruthless psychological tactic, a deliberate attempt to crush the Maratha spirit? History whispers its secrets, and while the records may not give us a clear answer, one thing is undeniable. Timing is everything in war and power struggles. But if Aurangzeb thought this execution would break the Marathas, he was wrong. Dead wrong. Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj's sacrifice did not silence the Marathas. It set their souls on fire. His courage became legend. His defiance became a rallying cry. And today, Gudi Padwa is celebrated with even great fervor, far beyond what Aurangzeb could have ever imagined. The warrior fell, but the spirit rose, and it still stands tall and erect just like a Gudi. So, was this just a coincidence? Or was it a deliberate move to crush the Maratha spirit? You decide. Let me know in the comments. And if you love exploring similar stories, subscribe now, because this is just the beginning.